Hello, good evening, everyone. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. Good evening.
Okay. She has done a wonderful intro. Like I always tell her, her introduction is more like a setup. Sets the tempo very high that if you just can't perform up to that level, according to Nigerians, we say you don't fall your hand. Now, business cannot be overemphasized, particularly in the modern day and time. My first speaker has done noble. She has spoken wonderfully about employment, CV writing, and what have you. And she also made mention of something that, if she's still online, I would digress on that a little. She said, as a business person, you are not your own boss. Your clients are your bosses. Depends on the kind of business you're doing. Some businesses, you are your own boss. For me, I am my own boss. Define a boss. I don't need anybody to come to my house to buy goods or look for change for me to run around and serve. So as long as I'm not serving anyone, I'm my boss. I work at my own time, at my own pace. Now, let me not digress too much. My mentor and my pastor would always say, Pastor Akumaye Uga, he would always say, your life is a sum total of the wisdom you've gathered and appropriated. Now, it's one thing to gather wisdom, it's another thing to appropriate it. We are having the Confident Women's Conference 2020. How well will this benefit you after today? It's one thing to be online right now on this live broadcast, listening to what you're saying, however we are illustrating it, but it's another thing to practice it and use it in winning edges. It's another thing to practice it intentionally to get results. So one thing, gain information, and another thing, implementation. I would always say the amount of information you have determines how deformed you are. Now, a great man, a great networker, and a great businessman, Robert Kiyosaki, gave me a quadrant. And recently, I was speaking somewhere and I illustrated this quadrant. A young man in his late 20s ran to me and said, Sir, please. Hello, can you hear me? If you can hear me, let me get a thumb up.
Yes, we can hear you perfectly.
Okay. All right. He said, you know, in this quadrant, I'm not self-employed, I'm not a businessman, and I am not an investor. He said, right now, the greatest thing in his mind is to think of how to jump into the quadrant. And I said, that's the first step. The first step of every victorious person is victory of the mind. In everything you do, you must conquer in your mind. That's why I always say that the greatest business book anyone can ever come across is the Bible. And the greatest businessman is the creator. I was speaking and I said, do you know that God is a networker? And people were like, oh, God, you have come again. I said, no, he is. After creation, what did he do? He made Adam and Eve, his first two downlines. And after Adam and Eve, can you count the number of downlines God have now? You can't count. And that is the power of numbers. The number in duplication has started giving results and making the world meaningful. Meaning, without duplication, the world will not be what it is today. Let's go back to Robert Kiyosaki quadrant. The E starts for the employed. Who is unemployed? Who is an employee? An employee is somebody that has to go to work every day, 7 days or 6 days in a week, 25 to 30 days in a month to get paid what we call salary. Are we together? Now, that's an employee. It means if that person falls sick for 1 month, it's either he's withdrawn without pay or someone else replaces him. That's an employee. While a self-employed person, I will use the illustration of a barrister. She owns her chambers, or he owns his own chambers. He employed a secretary. So you can say he's an employer of labor and he's self-employed. Every day, clients come to the chambers to look for him, to ask him to stand for them in court. The secretary attends to them, then channel them to him. Now, when that employer falls sick, what happens? Automatically, he won't go to court, right? The secretary will always attend to people, bring them to his table, record, and wait for him to be well before he can attend to the cases in court. Am I correct?
Yes.
That's self-employed. Now, these two I have explained, the employed and the self-employed, they are in the active part of the quadrant. What do I mean by active? I mean, if they don't work, they don't earn. If they are not actively involved in whatever is going on, they can't earn. There is another part called the passive quadrant, passive part of the quadrant. And on this part, we have businessmen. Who are businessmen? Opi Weka, we have businessmen. Abba, we have businessmen. To mention but a few areas we are conversant with. Businessmen are people that runs their own business, be it a firm, be it a hotel, whatever kind of business, but it's owned by them. They can employ persons to work for them from the beginning of the month till the end of the month to pay those people's salary. They are the owner of the company. They don't need to be there every day for the activities of the company to continue. Am I making sense? Are we understanding this?
Yes.
So they don't need to be there every day, but the activity of the job continues. Now, do you know that, or let me ask it as a question. At the end of the month, who do you think would earn more, the employer or the employee? Leave your answer in the comment section. The employer or the employee? You agree with me that the employer will earn more because he pays the employee to do the job, but he is the owner. Now, the most interesting of them all is the investor. The investor is what I call the big boy, the big boss. Why do I call him the big boss? Because he has the money, not necessarily has the idea, but he now makes the money to work for him. He's no longer working for money. Money is now working for him. The investor can walk up to the businessman and tell him, I would love to invest 2 million in your business. What will be my monthly interest? And they agree terms. He walks back home. As long as that businessman's business is active, the investor's money is multiplying. So I'll ask another question. Which part of this quadrant would you love to fall into? Now, I'll give us some healthy business tips because I have limited time. So I'll try to hit it as hard as I can with the little time I have. If you lose your mind, you lose everything. Your mind is your greatest asset. Any battle you've won in your heart, you have won it physically. Any battle you lose in your heart, you have lost it totally physically. That's why I always tell people, every morning when you wake up, beat your chest and say, I can. I am who I am supposed to be. I can achieve my goals for today, and nothing can by any means stop me. If you have that belief and you have that mentality, then virtually nothing can stop you. The moment something is given to you and you already create a mindset that it cannot work, you're already looking for the pros and cons, the negativity around it, why it cannot work. Instead of activating a positive mindset to think of how this can work, then you've lost it. Now, in this time of the pandemic, so many people has taken to the social media and other media houses, that's the TV and the what have you, to listen to trends of coronavirus. How does that add to you? It's good to be up to date, yes. But I liken the coronavirus, the pandemic, to a country in war. Even in the pandemic, businesses are striving, businesses are making waves. Have you tried to find out which business is happening? Where can I make it happen for my finances? See, in times like this, think of the basic necessities of life. Health is number one. Wealth is number two. Sorry, health is number one. Food is number two. Basic necessities. You need food to survive. You need to be healthy to survive. Now, if you are in the business of food, can you be out of business? No. If you're in the healthcare sector, can you be out of business? No. Even with the lockdown, there is a declaration that health and consumables are allowed to move. I have always said this. In short, this pandemic came as a revelation to some persons I have been speaking to over time. You cannot compare healthcare and the food industry to any other industry in the world. Even the oil most people boast about. Where is it now? That's why no matter how poor you see somebody say, Buka, we call it Mama Put here, no matter how poor her setup is, she can never run out of business. Have you asked yourself why? Because people must keep eating. Look for a business that solves a problem. Not every business, not all that glitter is gold. If your business does not solve a problem, you can be out of business any minute. Look for a business that solves a problem. Now, another point is get the right association that can influence your mind positively. You cannot be a pilot driving a plane and you have a clique of friends that believe a plane cannot take off from the ground. What will happen to your mentality? How will it affect you psychologically? They say two sailors cannot ride a boat. You are heading to the left and you are with friends heading to the right. See, there's a rule we call the rule of separation. You cannot move with everybody. There is what we call excess luggage. Some people are excess luggage in your life. Not everybody is meant to be there for as long as. Some are meant to come, fulfill their purpose, and move. Don't try to keep everybody in your circle. It's not possible. There are some things you want to do. This is not just in business now, in general life context. There are some things you would want to do. If you don't separate yourself from negative minds, when I say negative minds, now I don't mean the general negative. Anything not in line with your vision at a point is negative to that vision. Are we understanding it? Anything not in line with that vision at that point is negative to that vision. So what I'm saying is, as your vision is written, anything not in line with that vision, please leave it aside. Otherwise, it will pull you back. Take that down. Very important. It will pull you back. Now, we are young adults. This point might not be for everybody, but it's very important. Get a supportive spouse.
Okay, so I tell you that thing about to marry.
It might help some of us, but it's very important that you get a supportive spouse in business. Your spouse or your partner can make or break your business. Let me give you a little illustration. You are a networker, for instance, and you have a jealous wife or a jealous husband that doesn't believe in network marketing. As a networker, you have to build a chain of persons that you leverage on to achieve the goal. Now, these people call you from time to time as a leader or as a mentor. If you have a jealous spouse, you will turn some of them off. In short, every day you guys will fight. Because you cannot tell only the male gender to call you and the female shouldn't. And people will know your family setup. They'll call you at any time. Sometimes I receive calls as late as 12 midnight. Fine, you set the standard. This is business boundary. You can't call me beyond this time. But they are what we call business emergencies. And when they pop up, if you don't have a supportive spouse, it will break you at that point. It can break you psychologically, it can break you mentally. And if you are broken down psychologically or mentally, you're already halfway gone. Take that down. Now, another important part is a mentor and a sponsor. Do we understand the difference between a mentor and a sponsor? Should I explain?
Yes, please.
Okay. Now,
Yes,
a
sir.
mentor can guide you through a process. Now, there are physical and visual mentors. Do we know that? There are mentors you see physically, you contact every day, you come in contact with them, you interact with them, you live their kind of life to achieve their kind of result. Those are physical mentors. They are visual mentors, people you just love their lifestyle. Many ladies love Beyonce. They've never met her. She's mentoring them visually. Some people follow her trends, everything she does, how she live her life, how she groom her kids, how she does with her husband. This is visual mentorship. Now, that is a mentor. But a sponsor is somebody that will open doors for you. Somebody that knows somebody else, that knows another person that has what you need. Okay, my name is Engineer Ikuri. I do installation and maintenance. And I have another engineer as a mentor. He has taught me the pros and cons of installation and maintenance, instrumentation. But I need someone in that industry, not necessarily in the engineering industry, but in instrumentation industry that knows friends that will need my service and will link me to these friends that will need my service. That is a sponsor. A sponsor mustn't be someone that gives you money. Someone can sponsor you financially, yes, but that's not the full context of sponsorship. A sponsor can also be someone that links you up to your divine helper, to your destiny helper. So get a mentor, follow your mentor squarely. I know it's difficult sometimes. There are some things that your mentor will do, and you're like, no, 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 no. I can't do this one. Like my pastor said in the month of February, he must read 5 books. And he's my mentor. If my mentor is reading 5 books, I'm supposed to read 10. But logically, and the laziness in me would always tell me, come on, this guy wants to kill me. It doesn't have to be comfortable, but I have to do it. If I must get the results I seek, I must do it. That's just it. So you must follow your mentor to the core, and then believe God for sponsors. Look out for sponsors. See, there's what we say, give honor to whom honor is due. Many times we miss the point when we become too familiar with our mentors. Don't get too familiar with your mentor to the point that you undermine his grace because he's your friend. So come on, he's my friend. So, oh man, it matters a lot. There is a big disparity between friendship and mentorship. When it's time for the play and joke, my boss, he calls me bro. Hey bro, what's up? What's happening? We gist, but I always refer to him as sir. I have not cared to check his age bracket. We might be age mates, but it doesn't matter. I am serving under him to get the required result. And so far, so good. It has been wonderful. It has been really, really, really wonderful. If I tell you the success in the last 1 year, 6 months, that's approximately 18 months, you will be, wow, is this possible? Yes, it is. At the beginning, it looked impossible, but right now, it is very possible. Another point is time. How well do you manage your time? You have a meeting for 4 p.m., you are going there by 4:30, and you think time is not money. Every 1 minute is money. In fact, in 2020, if you invite me for a meeting, we are supposed to meet by 4. And by 4, you are not there. I wait for you till 10 minutes past 4, you are not there, I'm gone. That's me. I might not have something else I'm going to do, but I have to make you value my time. I have a very tight schedule. I have books to read, I have my mentor to follow. I have social media to harness. There are so many people there that needs my business. I hate the word called Africa time. It kills a lot. African time. I don't know why they use the word Africa. Does it mean we are always backward? But we can change that status quo, both of us. If we agree by 4 and you are not there by 4, okay, 4:15 you are not there, I'm gone. If I have to wait for you, if our meeting is supposed to be from 4 to 5, immediately it is 5, I'm gone. Whether we are done with whatever we are discussing or not, I'm gone. And if you need more of my time, you must equate it to value. You must pay extra. That is it. You must add value to your time because any time lost can never be regained. Now, do this mathematics. In a day, you have 24 hours. Out of that 24 hours, you have virtually slept for 6 hours. So what you have out of that day is maximum 18 hours. And out of that 18, you won't take out time for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. You won't take out family time. If you calculate it, time will not permit me to give you the full breakdown. But if you calculate it into a year, 8 hours out of 24 is already more than a quarter. If you divide 24 by 8, is in 3 places. Meaning in 24 hours, if you add your lunch, breakfast, and dinner to your sleeping time, you have used minimum of 8 hours out of the 24. So in a year, you have used 4 months to eat and sleep. You have just 8 more months to work. So you must maximize that 8 months. Otherwise, you cannot get your result. Even if you get your result, no matter the result you are getting, if you maximize your time, you triple that result. Write it down, I said so. And if I am wrong, call me back anytime. My social media handles are with the host. She will share with you so that you can accuse me of not getting the result as demanded. Now, another point is ideation to execution. Ideation to execution. Now, this is where many business people get problems. What is ideation? Ideation is you betting the idea. You have thought of it. Wow, I love this. I can do this. Okay, if I add this to this, I can get such results. Wonderful. That's a God-given idea. Don't forget, as that idea dropped in your mind, it has dropped in 1,000 minds. It's not just you. It has dropped in 1,000 minds. Now, the first person that executes it fastest becomes the first harnesser of the blessing of that idea. So ideation to execution. What's ideation to execution? The time difference between when you betted the idea and when you executed the idea. So many people have had plans since 2012 and they are waiting for 2050 before they will execute it. What is your problem? Fear. And my Bible told me, fear is the evidence of, you know the rest. The substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. Fear factor. We have to shade away fear to achieve a lot of things in our life. God has not given us the spirit of fear, but the spirit of a sound mind. So if you have a sound mind, don't be afraid to take a risk. There are different levels of risk. Know your level and take a risk at your level. Don't go above your level. You cannot have ₦1 million and you want to invest in a business that is risky and you invest ₦1 million in that business. That's not your level of risk. 40% is the highest level of risk anybody can take. So if you must take a risk worth ₦1 million, you must have more than ₦2.2 million in your account. So that if anything happens, you have more than 50% extra to bounce back to. You must take risk this year. That's your idea. That's your idea. I would love to see the results of that your idea. I would love to see the end product of that your idea. I believe you can do it. Nothing can stop you. Nobody can do it better than yourself. That money in your bank account will not expand. Leaving it there for 100 years, it will remain what it is. Instead, they will charge you for alert charges. They will charge you for stamp duty. They will charge you for every waka pass. Yes. So don't leave it in your account. It does not grow there. Have your savings, good and fine. Have your savings. But you must not leave the totality of yourself in your bank account. That money you left in your bank account, hope you are aware, they are using it to give other people loans. They are using to drive their ideas. If your money can help other people achieve their ideas, how much more you? You are the better person to use your money. So bridge the gap between the ideation and execution. Now, how do you bridge this gap?
Subscribe to my YouTube channel if you're yet to, and follow me on all social media platforms to get constant motivational videos to help you live intentionally today.